Hey there, my friend. If you care about your health, especially your digestion, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss my weekly health tips made specially for people over 50. Now listen closely. You've heard that yogurt is great for your gut, right? But what if I told you there's a fermented food that's 10 times more powerful? One that not only helps digestion, but can also support your immune system, reduce bloating, and even improve mood. Most people have never even tried it, and some throw it away without realizing its power. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and how to use it to feel amazing every single day. Yogurt is not the Holy Grail. You've probably heard this countless times. Eat yogurt, it's great for your digestion. Doctors, commercials, and diet books have been repeating this advice for decades. And sure, yogurt can be healthy. But here's the truth few people talk about. Most of the yogurt on supermarket shelves today barely deserves to be called a probiotic food. Let me explain why. When yogurt became popular, the idea was simple. It's fermented milk containing beneficial bacteria that help our gut. But modern production has turned it into something else. Many brands are now full of sugar, flavorings, stabilizers, and sometimes even artificial sweeteners. What used to be a natural living food has become more like a dessert with a health halo. Even the so-called Greek yogurts are not always what they claim to be. They may be thicker, yes, but that doesn't always mean they're richer in probiotics. In fact, during industrial processing, the bacteria that make yogurt beneficial often don't survive the pasteurization or long storage time. By the time the yogurt reaches your fridge, there might be very little life left in it. Now let's talk about something many people over 50 experience: lactose intolerance. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less of the enzyme lactase, which helps digest lactose, the sugar found in milk. That's why yogurt, while good in theory, can actually cause bloating, gas, or discomfort for some people. You might finish your healthy breakfast only to feel heavy or even sleepy afterward. And here's another little-known fact. The few bacteria that do survive in yogurt are mostly from just 1 or 2 species, usually Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. They're fine, but they don't stay in your gut for long. They pass through, they don't colonize. So their effect is temporary, a quick visit, not a long-term friendship with your microbiome. That's why so many people try yogurt for digestion, feel a bit better for a while, and then nothing changes. Their gut issues remain. Constipation, bloating, fatigue after meals, still there. So what's the takeaway here? Yogurt is not bad, but it's not the ultimate answer to gut health either. It's like putting a small patch on a big problem. It helps a little, but it doesn't fix the system from within. Now imagine if there was a food that didn't just deliver 1 or 2 strains of bacteria, but dozens. A food that naturally grows a whole community of probiotics, diverse, balanced, and alive. A food that doesn't depend on dairy, that's easy to digest, and that your body recognizes instantly as nourishment. That's what we're about to talk about in this video. Because there's a fermented food out there that quietly outperforms yogurt in almost every category: digestion, nutrient absorption, and even immune balance. And it's not some rare supplement or expensive health product. It's been around for centuries. It's part of everyday meals in some of the healthiest cultures on the planet. You might even walk past it at the grocery store without realizing what it can do for your gut. So stay with me. Because when you understand how fermentation really works, you'll see why yogurt was just the beginning, not the destination. And by the end of this journey, you'll know how to give your body something far more powerful, something that actually rebuilds your digestive health from the inside out. Fermentation, nature's magic. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever noticed how some traditional foods seem to keep people healthier for longer? Think about the grandparents who never took probiotics or supplements, yet rarely complained about their stomachs. They had energy, strong immunity, and good digestion well into old age. The secret was simple. They ate fermented foods almost every day. Fermentation isn't some new wellness trend. It's one of the oldest and most natural ways of preserving food. Long before refrigerators or modern medicine, people learned that letting certain foods sit under just the right conditions made them safer, tastier, and easier to digest. What looked like simple kitchen wisdom was actually a brilliant piece of microbiological science. Here's what really happens during fermentation. When vegetables, milk, or grains are left in a controlled environment, without oxygen, but with a little salt or starter culture, natural bacteria start to grow. These are mostly lactic acid bacteria, the friendly kind. They slowly convert sugars into lactic acid, which preserves the food and creates that tangy, slightly sour flavor. But something even more important happens at the same time. As they work, these bacteria multiply by the billions, forming a living ecosystem full of probiotics, enzymes, and nutrients. And when we eat that food, we invite those beneficial microorganisms into our digestive system, where they can help us, protect us, and even teach our immune cells how to behave. That's why scientists now call the gut our second brain. It's home to trillions of microbes that affect everything, from how we digest and absorb nutrients to how we feel emotionally. About 80% of the body's serotonin, the feel-good chemical, is made in the gut, not the brain. So when our gut flora is balanced, we feel more energetic, more focused, and even more optimistic. Fermented foods support this balance in a completely natural way. They don't just add new bacteria, they help create the right environment for the good ones to thrive, and for the harmful ones to fade away. It's like gardening inside your body. Instead of spraying chemicals, you simply plant more flowers and let nature restore order. Now, many people think they need expensive probiotic capsules to achieve this, but in reality, real food often works better. Why? Because natural fermentation produces not just bacteria, but also prebiotics, the fibers and compounds that feed those bacteria. It's a complete package, a self-sustaining system. And fermentation does something else. It enhances nutrition. For example, it increases the bioavailability of vitamins, especially vitamin B and K groups. It also breaks down substances that are hard to digest, like gluten in grains or anti-nutrients in vegetables, making the food lighter and easier on the stomach. This is why so many people who struggle with digestion after 50 suddenly feel better when they add fermented foods to their diet. The beauty of fermentation lies in its simplicity. There are no chemicals, no heat treatments, no complicated equipment, just salt, time, and nature doing what it does best. And yet, the results are extraordinary. Food that stays fresh for weeks or months, full of living energy and microscopic allies, ready to help your gut heal. If you've ever tasted sauerkraut that tingled on your tongue, or real kefir that slightly fizzes when you open it, that's the sign of life. That's the moment when you're not just eating, you're collaborating with nature. And here's where it gets really interesting. Not all fermented foods are created equal. Some, like commercial pickles soaked in vinegar, don't have live bacteria at all. Others, like real traditionally fermented vegetables, are bursting with beneficial microbes. So, it's important to know which ones actually help your gut and which are just sour-tasting imitations. In the next part, I'll introduce you to one of the most powerful fermented foods ever studied, a food that's been nourishing people for centuries, yet only recently recognized by Western science as a true probiotic powerhouse. It's not dairy, it's not a supplement, and it's certainly not yogurt. It's something far more complex, flavorful, and alive, and your gut will thank you for discovering it. Meet the king of probiotics. Let me introduce you to a remarkable food, one that scientists, nutritionists, and traditional healers all agree on: kimchi. Now, if you've never tried it, don't worry. You're not alone. For many people, the first time they hear the word kimchi, they imagine something exotic or too spicy. But behind that bold flavor is one of the most powerful natural probiotic foods ever created. Kimchi has been a cornerstone of Korean cuisine for centuries. It's made mainly from vegetables, usually cabbage or radish, combined with garlic, ginger, salt, and a touch of chili. Then it's left to ferment naturally. That's it. No preservatives, no vinegar, no artificial flavoring. Just time and friendly bacteria doing their work. During this fermentation process, kimchi becomes a living ecosystem of beneficial microbes, much more diverse than what you find in yogurt. While yogurt might have 2 or 3 bacterial strains, kimchi can contain dozens of them, all working together in harmony. This diversity is what makes it so powerful for your gut. Different strains of bacteria have different jobs. Some help break down carbohydrates, others support protein digestion, and many protect the lining of your intestines. Together, they form a balanced microbial team that can strengthen your gut barrier and reduce inflammation. But kimchi doesn't stop there. Because it's made from vegetables, it brings something yogurt can't: fiber. That fiber acts as food for the bacteria inside your intestines, helping the good ones grow stronger and multiply. It's like giving fertilizer to the garden of your gut. Kimchi is also rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as antioxidants and plant compounds that fight free radicals. In other words, it nourishes both you and your microbiome. It's a complete package: probiotics, prebiotics, and powerful nutrients all in one dish. What does this mean for your health? Well, studies have shown that people who regularly eat kimchi tend to have better digestion, lower cholesterol, and even improved metabolic balance. Some research suggests it can help regulate blood sugar and support immune function. And interestingly, people who include kimchi in their daily meals often report feeling lighter and more energetic after eating. That's because kimchi supports the natural rhythm of your gut. When your digestion works efficiently, your entire body benefits, from energy levels to mood stability. Your immune cells, many of which live in the intestinal wall, become more balanced and less reactive. Even your brain chemistry responds positively when your gut flora is healthy. Another big advantage: kimchi contains no lactose, so for anyone who struggles with dairy or feels uncomfortable after yogurt, kimchi offers all the benefits of probiotics without the downside. It's suitable for almost everyone, and it's completely plant-based. And let's talk about taste for a moment. That gentle tang, a little bit sour, a little savory, it's not just flavor, it's vitality. That's what living food tastes like. The complex aroma and fizzing texture are signs that real fermentation has happened, and that billions of living cultures are ready to support your body. It's amazing how something so simple can be so deeply beneficial. You don't need fancy supplements or expensive powders. You can support your digestion with a humble bowl of fermented cabbage, the same food that has helped generations stay healthy long before the word probiotic even existed. In the next part, we'll go a bit deeper. I'll explain exactly how kimchi helps your digestive system, what it does once it reaches your intestines, and why so many people start noticing changes in just a few days. We'll talk about the biology, but in plain language, so you can truly understand what's happening inside your body when you add this ancient food to your modern diet. How it helps your digestion. When people first hear that a simple fermented food can transform digestion, they often think it's an exaggeration. But once you understand what actually happens inside your body after eating kimchi, it starts to make perfect sense. Your digestive system isn't just a tube that processes food. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. Inside your intestines, there are trillions of microorganisms working every single moment. They break down complex foods, extract nutrients, protect against harmful bacteria, and even communicate with your immune cells. When this delicate balance is disturbed by antibiotics, stress, poor diet, or aging, we start to feel it. Bloating, heaviness, irregular bowel movements, or loss of energy. Now imagine bringing in an army of friendly helpers, living microbes that know exactly what to do. That's what happens when you eat real kimchi. Each spoonful contains billions of beneficial bacteria, especially Lactobacillus plantarum, one of the strongest probiotic species ever studied. This particular strain not only survives the acidic environment of your stomach, it thrives in your intestines, where it begins restoring balance from within. Here's how the process works. As kimchi enters your digestive tract, its live cultures start to compete with harmful bacteria, gently pushing them out. They release substances that make the gut environment friendlier for the good microbes and less comfortable for the bad ones. It's like inviting in helpful guests who quietly reorganize your entire household, cleaning up, fixing small problems, and restoring order without chaos. At the same time, kimchi's natural enzymes begin to assist your own digestive enzymes. They help break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates more efficiently, reducing the burden on your stomach and pancreas. For many people over 50, this is especially important. Our enzyme production naturally declines with age, which can make digestion slower and meals feel heavier. Kimchi gives your body a little biochemical support, a gentle hand that helps the process along. Another powerful effect comes from the fermentation byproducts, short-chain fatty acids like acetate and butyrate. These compounds are produced when the good bacteria in your gut feed on the fiber in kimchi. They nourish the cells of your intestinal lining, helping to strengthen the barrier that keeps toxins out and nutrients in. That's why many people report less bloating, more regular digestion, and a calm, settled feeling in the stomach after just a few days of adding kimchi to their diet. And there's more. A balanced gut microbiome doesn't only help your digestion, it affects your entire system. About 70% of your immune cells live in your gut. When the microbiome is healthy, these immune cells become smarter. They respond better to real threats, but stay calm when there's no danger. This helps reduce low-grade inflammation, which is linked to fatigue, joint stiffness, and even mood swings. Some people are surprised to learn that improving digestion can actually boost energy and mental clarity. But think about it. When your body absorbs nutrients properly and doesn't waste energy fighting imbalance, everything feels easier. Meals no longer cause discomfort. You wake up lighter, and your mood tends to improve naturally, not because of caffeine or sugar, but because your body is finally working in harmony. Kimchi also has a cleansing effect. The lactic acid and natural acids produced during fermentation help keep harmful bacteria and yeasts under control. That means fewer digestive upsets and a healthier internal environment overall. It's fascinating that such a small addition to your daily routine, just a few spoonfuls of fermented vegetables, can have such a big impact. But that's the beauty of nature. Your body doesn't need complicated interventions. It simply needs the right tools to restore balance, and kimchi provides them in the most natural way possible. In the next part, I'll explain how to eat kimchi correctly, how much, how often, and what to look for when choosing it. Because like all living foods, the details matter. A few small habits can make the difference between just trying it and truly feeling its benefits. How to eat kimchi. The right way. When people first discover kimchi, they often rush to try it. A big spoonful, straight from the jar, expecting instant magic. But just like any powerful food, it works best when you use it wisely and consistently. The goal is not to shock your body, but to gently nourish it, day after day. Let's start with the most common question. How much kimchi should you eat? You don't need a large amount. For most adults, especially over 50, 2 to 3 tablespoons a day are enough to bring real benefits. That small portion already contains billions of active cultures and a wide range of nutrients. Think of it like a daily vitamin for your gut, not a full meal, but a regular support system. You can eat kimchi in many ways. Some people enjoy it as a side dish with rice, fish, or eggs. Others mix it into soups, salads, or even omelets. You can add a spoonful to a sandwich or serve it next to roasted vegetables. The key is to treat it as an accent, something that complements your food and adds life to it. If you've never eaten kimchi before, start small. Your gut needs a little time to adjust to the sudden arrival of so many new bacteria. Begin with 1 tablespoon per day for a few days, and see how your body responds. You might notice mild changes, a bit more activity in your digestion, or a lighter feeling after meals. That's a good sign. It means your system is waking up and beginning to balance itself again. Now, one important detail. Not all kimchi sold in stores is truly alive. Many commercial versions are made with vinegar and preservatives, which stop fermentation. Those versions may taste similar, but they don't contain the living bacteria that make real kimchi so beneficial. So when you buy it, look for labels that say naturally fermented or unpasteurized. You might also see small bubbles inside the jar. That's carbon dioxide from active fermentation, a good sign that it's alive. If you enjoy cooking, you can even make your own. It's surprisingly simple. Chop fresh cabbage, add salt, garlic, and ginger. Press it into a clean jar and let nature do the rest. In a few days, you'll see the liquid rise and the aroma deepen. That's life unfolding right before your eyes. Homemade kimchi tends to be milder, fresher, and full of living cultures that haven't been sitting on a shelf for months. Let's talk about spice for a moment. Traditional kimchi can be quite spicy, and for people with sensitive stomachs or acid reflux, that might be too strong. The good news is you can find or make milder versions. Kimchi made with less chili, or even without it, still contains the same beneficial bacteria. Flavor is flexible. Health benefits remain. Some people also wonder, should I heat it? Ideally, no. Heating kills the living bacteria, and that's what we want to preserve. So, if you're adding kimchi to a warm dish like soup, do it at the end, after removing it from heat. That way, you keep the probiotics alive and still enjoy the flavor. It's also worth mentioning that fermented foods can have a gentle, cleansing effect. When you first start, you may notice more regular bowel movements. That's your gut adjusting and cleaning itself naturally. Stay hydrated, eat plenty of vegetables, and your body will adapt quickly. The real power of kimchi comes with consistency. Eating a little every day is far more effective than having a large portion once in a while. Over time, those friendly microbes begin to rebuild your intestinal community, making digestion smoother and your immune system more resilient. You'll likely notice that heavy meals no longer weigh you down. Bloating becomes rare, and your energy feels steadier throughout the day. Remember, your gut health influences every part of your body, not just your stomach. When digestion works well, your skin clears, your sleep improves, and even your mind feels calmer. That's the ripple effect of balance. So start small, stay consistent, and treat kimchi as your quiet daily ally. It's a gift from nature, simple, living, and powerful. And once you experience how much better your body feels, you might just wonder how you ever lived without it.